GM did a great job refreshing their 2024 GMC Sierra HD. But the competition is about to respond, so I think that they're probably going to fix something on this trim. Let's talk about it. At the very top is the description, colors. You guys can see that powertrain. Be sure to pause it for the standard equipment. It's a short listing. Now, base price for this truck is going to be $51,900. And this does have a 1SA Pro Safety Plus package, and here's everything that's going to be in there. Convenience package, gives you a lot of nice features as well. Assist steps, bed liner, which is a spray-in. X31 off-road package. And this has a lot of other options. Just be sure to pause it to see all of them. I'm not going to call every single thing out, but destination comes in at $1995 with a total price of $59,635. So yes, this truck can be had for under $60,000. And one thing I like about the GM trucks is LED headlights do come standard. So if you don't want any options on this build, you can still get that, and it'll be around $55,000 when you include destination, or just under $55,000. Now, with that being said, the front end of this truck definitely looks like a work truck for sure. Chrome grille, and really just the surround of it, and then chrome bumper. You guys can even see the recovery hooks are finished in black, and then this trimming down here is just in plastic. There's no fog lights, and yes, this truck does have that gas engine, so this is just a block off plate for that hood scoop that's available for the diesel. But overall, still a really nice design for a work truck. Now, off to the side, you guys can see they have that 2500 badge right here. And then here's the wheel design. Alloys, 8 lugs still, obviously. And shockingly, I get to pick on GM today about their tires. This is going to be a 17-inch wheel. LT 265/70 is the tire size. These are the Firestone Transforce ATs. I have said many times, and I've made fun of Ram for using these tires, not because they're bad tires, but because they do wear out pretty quickly. Now, if you are wondering about the capacity of these tires, 3,195 pounds at 80 PSI. GM is still rocking that solid, or I said solid, excuse me, independent front suspension and wax framing, but they still give you a fabric material for the wheel liner up front, clearance lights, and then here's some of the badging right here. Now, mirrors going to be manual, so you have to pull them out like so to put them in tow mode. Fixed running boards down below, and you guys see the door handles are finished in plastic. There is no chrome really on the side of this truck except for that trim piece right there and the badging down below, but around the windows, door handles, all finished in plastic. If you don't need a long bed, GM has the largest standard bed. It's about 6 foot 10 inches and 36-gallon fuel tank. Also, you have your steps on the side of the bed and on that bumper there. Clearance lights on the fender flare. And you guys can see no wheel well liner on this truck. And this is your suspension. You have 5 leaves, but that bottom one's going to be a helper spring, Rancho shocks. You can see that framing a lot better out back too. More of that badging. Now, these tail lights are going to be a mixture of incandescent bulbs, and I believe the accent light is going to be, actually I don't think it has a LED accent light. That might just be incandescent bulbs, guys. Wow. Parking sensors were an option. Class 5 hitch down below. You have that 4 and 7 pin backup camera, and they still give you the light too. Assisted tailgate was an option. 400 watts of power, bed lights, all that was an option. You don't have a sliding rear glass, but you do have a bed view camera. Fifth wheel prep package is available. Now, under here, you guys will see you have a matching spare tire, but you have a steel wheel though. 373 axle ratio, automatic locker. You guys see those Rancho shocks a little bit better out back. Let's go ahead and talk about that L8T. So here is that 6.6 liter gas V8 known as the L8T. If you don't remember, I did own this engine. Now they introduced this back in 2020 and it's still making the same 401 horsepower that comes on around 5,200 RPMs and 464 pound-feet of torque that comes on around 4,000. They do have a cast iron block and the cylinder heads are going to be cast aluminum. The crankshaft, however, is forged steel and the camshaft is billet steel. Now, as far as compression goes, 10.8 to 1, so you don't have to run the premium fuel. I did it in mine when I was towing, and because I go to Costco out here in Utah, they have 85 and 91, so I just ran 91 because I wasn't going to run 85. So all in all, a really good engine, and it tows well too. I towed my 13,500 pound fifth wheel with it, and it did well even at these higher elevations, but it does feel sluggish for sure. Lastly, first gear is a 454, so that does help, and because you have that 10-speed, the steps between the gears are a lot closer, so it does perform decently well. And as you guys heard earlier, 373 rear end. Now the only negative I will say today is direct injection, not port indirect, which I would like to see. Now, as I said, and as I titled this video, Ford has done a redesign, and I will say, if I had to choose between the colors, I do like GM's colors better than Ford's, you know, XLT and XL trim level trucks. But when you look at the dash, this dash needs to be replaced. Now this is going to be the same dual card you saw back from 2020 to 2023. If you go up to a SLE, they did refresh the entire interior. If you want me to be honest with you, they actually redesigned the interior for the 2024 model year because it was kind of bad if you were comparing it to Ram for sure. But they still have this interior design from that 2020 model year. So in my humble opinion, I think that GM should just go ahead and do a update with this one. And they have the 11-inch screen from the Canyon, so they could just slip those screens in this truck and still give it the new dash. Now if they kept the doors the same, that wouldn't be a big deal, but all in all, I think that this truck is definitely outdated, especially for $60,000. As I said, Ford did a redesign, and even though their interior is not as nice in terms of the colors, the dash is nice for sure, and you can get the digital gauge cluster on some of those trim levels too. Now this truck does have push button start, which Ford doesn't really, you know, give you on those lower trim levels. But all in all, I think that with Ram dropping the price on their trucks, it does make GM a little vulnerable in my opinion. But here is your cruise control right there. You do have an alert for like your I guess it's not adaptive cruise control, but if you're getting too close to someone, it will actually beep at you, which is nice. You don't have any heated seats, you don't have dual climate control, but again, you're buying this truck for under $60,000, potentially under $55,000 if you negotiate it. But on this screen here, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, as you can see, and you have a backup camera. They do give you the lines if you need to hook up to a trailer, and of course your backup lines that move with the steering wheel. And if you don't want anything back there, well, you can do that as well. Now this screen, I believe it's a 8-inch screen, so it's definitely lacking in comparison, I would say. Trailer brake, you have two USBs, so you have a Type C, Type A. They still give you a 12 volt and you have a 120 volt plug. Downhill assist came part of that X31 package. You can drop the tailgate from inside, and then this is like a lane keep assist alert, so it's not going to steer you back in. And then you have those rear parking sensors that you can disable if you're hooking up to your trailer. Now in this screen, you have to use it with this guy inside of here, so it shows you some of your information. The first thing you're going to see is your speedometer. Hopefully you can see it better now. Your trip 1 and 2, fuel range, timer, tire pressure, remaining oil life, air filter life, brake pad life, following distance, transmission fluid temperature, which is nice for towing. Trailer brake can be shown inside of here too. Engine hours, and then units for US. You can do a blank screen if you don't want to see anything on there, and then back up to the top there. But yeah, I think that these seats are pretty comfortable. They have nice bolstering on the side, a little bit of storage in here, and if you need that extra person to come along with you, you have this seat here. There is a little bit of storage under the cushion, and if you want to pull this back down, you just do that. Now on this side, this is all hard plastic, by the way. You do have storage down below, and let's see. If you want to use this truck for a bed camper, it's rated for 1,856 pounds. They still provide LED lighting in the interior. Ram does not, but Ford does. You have OnStar up there. This truck does have the Sirius XM radio, by the way, too. And notice that they still give you the time and date right there on that screen for your vanities. They don't give you any lights, but you do have that on both sides. Now, some of these things could be an option, so just keep that in mind. And then if you want to turn on your, oh, that's pretty cool. So you have this for your bed view camera. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's pretty cool. And then it goes away too, actually, when you push it. I've never seen that before. I kind of skipped over this earlier. This is going to be a hard vinyl, but the rest of this is going to be hard plastic. Auto up and down for just the driver's side, but auto down for everything else. You can actually power fold the mirrors. I did not mention that, but that is an option. And you have those lights on the mirrors for reversing your trailer. Manual seats on both sides. However, there's no lumbar support. Ford does give you a manual one. It has an FYI. Now, out back, there's your door. 60/40 bench. Ram does not give you that on their tradesman level. No storage below the seat or for the seat backs right here, and no armrest. However, they do still give you 2 USBs, air vents to keep your rear occupants comfortable. And you guys can see you have those seat back pockets. Gray roof, which does not match this interior, but not a big deal on a work truck. Now, as far as the numbers go, gross axle weight rating up front is going to be 6,000 pounds. That was increased because of the snowplow prep package. And the rear is 6,390 pounds. 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating, 17 by 7.5 wide wheels, and then payload is 2,756 pounds, and then 14.5 conventional towing, and then 16,410 for the gooseneck. Now those numbers might seem kind of low for this truck, and that's only because of the rating for the tire. So I hope you guys liked the video. I definitely think that if you need to save money, because trucks are expensive, but this truck has a lot of nice features. But I think where GM could really bring it home is by giving the work trucks a more updated interior with the smaller screens to kind of cut costs maybe. And I think that this would be a really good truck to compare against Ford and Ram currently.